We were talking tonight, and we decided since it's October,
We're going to have a little fun.
we're going to have a little bit of fun.
True stories, scary stories, but we're going to have fun with it. We hope you enjoy it.
Yes, they're not fake.
Yeah, wish they were.
And they're not.
Yeah, I know.
And they're actually, some are pretty freaky.
Yeah.
But anyway, when I was a child, I'm talking about a toddler still in my crib. We had a home in Elizabeth, New Jersey. The home was old and it was creepy. And I remember at this young age, I still remember to this day, that I was standing up in my crib and there was a back door in the bedroom. And I remember my older brother, Frankie, laying on the bed. He was sleeping. And I remember climbing up and holding on to the bars. And when I did, I happened to look over at the door. And there in the door were these two gigantic yellow eyes.
Oh.
It scared me so bad that I started screaming. And I remember my brother waking up. But after that, I don't remember anything. But I always remember being very afraid in that house.
Right.
So fast forward now. Mind you, I had to be, let's say, probably about 14, maybe. Me and my girlfriend was walking up our street. Now, this is in Edison, New Jersey. We were going to my house after a night of just walking around and singing and enjoying ourselves. And did you ever get the back of your head like tingling and your hair standing up like something's not right? Like I felt like that something was not right, that something was like looking at me or like a pending doom. And I happened to look this way and there was houses there and there's nothing going on there. And meanwhile, my girlfriend's chatting away and I'm trying to listen to her, but I could not get rid of that feeling. So I happened to turn to left and that whole section was nothing but woods. It wasn't developed at the time. And there in the bushes, staring right at me, was those same yellow eyes. I was so devastated that I stopped and I could not move. And she said to me, "What's wrong with you?" I said, "I can't move." And I couldn't get out what was going on. And I'm staring at these eyes and they're not blinking and they're staring back at me. Finally, I must have came to my senses and I ran like a bat out of hell up the steps, in the door, slammed the door. She barely got in behind me before I slammed the door. So then I conveyed to her what happened about when I was a child. And then again, when I was a teenager. And that has stuck with me for all these years. And I don't know what it was. I don't care to know what it was. I don't ever want to see that again. But it scared me half to death to this day. Eyes. I'm obsessed with eyes.
Have you seen them since?
No, thank God.
Oh, yeah, because it's kind of worried me.
Yeah, that was just, whoo, that was just too much for me. Way too much.
But by the way, I don't mean to cut you off. I'm just trying to find out, are you done or you
Yeah.
Right. By the way, along the way, we both have similar stories to deal with cornfields.
Which is odd.
We want to have a little bit of a contest.
No, there is no contest.
Yeah, there is. To see who you think's story is better than the others.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
Because I roll like that.
Okay.
All right.
You can leave it in the comments.
Yeah.
Another contest.
All right, we were in my mother-in-law's kitchen. My sister-in-law and her friend were on the Ouija board. And most of us know about the Ouija board. And they were playing around on it. And they were starting to talk about, how it came about. I don't really know. I came in after they had started. Ended up they were talking to a guy, all right, that supposedly not there. Remember his name. So they were going back and forth, conversation with him, so forth, so on.
You mean the Ouija board was moving?
Well, the Ouija board, yeah.
Okay.
So, of course, asked his name and what he was doing, if he's still alive, so forth, so on. Which, of course, the Ouija board, you're not, if you're talking whatever. So anyway, I got into it, and it got darker and darker with him as they were talking. And finally they said to him, "Where you at?" And he came back, come to the attic, and they freaked out and folded up the board. And, my ex and they both told him, "You can't just close up the board. You got to sign. You got to do whatever to get out of it. You close the board, it's left open to where you ended it. But for 2 months, my sister-in-law, because of course bedrooms were upstairs, scared to death to walk under the attic door, that something was going to happen. But I guess it doesn't sound as freaky with talking about it as it was when they were doing it. But you had to be there. But yeah, that was the main thing. When it said to come to the attic, that kind of ended it.
I had purchased an old home in Rahway, New Jersey. It was a long time before we got in there. And when we finally got in there, it was very old. It was over 150 years old. I never looked into the place, which I should have. I never went to town hall to see if anything ever happened there, which I should have, but I didn't. And from time to time, you would feel stuff touch you, and it's like you turn around. Yep. I had 3 kids at the time, and they were young. All different ages. Joshua being the youngest, and you turn around expecting the kids to be there, and they weren't there. Or else, you heard stuff. There was steps going all the way up, 13 steps. And I had a little dog called Munchie. She was a little mix, yo big. She used to stand in this one spot, right in the middle of the steps on the ground, and constantly bark. And I'm like, will you shut up? It was constant to the point where, I started throwing stuff at her, just stop. But she would not stop. And the weird thing was that, at first, little stuff started happening. Like I said, the touching.
Right.
And I thought, maybe it's a breeze, whatever. Then I would put my supper out on the table before I went to work. So when I got home, I could cook, or Tiffany Ann could cook or something like that. And it would disappear. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, I have enough dogs in my house that I had a big Rottweiler at the time. Who's going to come in my house and steal my supper?
Right.
It was hot dogs that was stolen off my table. A bunch of tomatoes I had grown it was stolen off my table. Where they went, I don't know. They weren't in the house. I searched the whole house. I thought the kids were fine with me.
Right.
But no, they weren't. And so I started getting leery, and I'm like, what's going on? It wasn't a very good neighborhood that I found out, so I thought maybe we had an intruder. But who would get through a Rottweiler? You know, I can't. He almost tore me to pieces until he got to know me. And then, like, you know, as I went out, like, during the day, and visited with my family, my daughter would call me, Mom, Mom, something just jumped over my door. And I'm like, what in God's name are you talking about? And she was scared. And she didn't get scared.
Jumped over the door.
It jumped over the door like it was a shadow that jumped over the door.
Okay.
And evidently, and I don't know, you can look this up because from what I understand is an entity or or a ghost or what have you will not walk past a threshold. And I would have to leave wherever I was at, and I'd come home, and she was scared to death to leave her room. So, fast forward a little bit. You know, now I'm really freaky about this house. I'm like, God, because it was just me and the kids. And, like I said, it wasn't a good neighborhood. We found out. So then my son, Charlie, my eldest, gets up one morning and comes down the steps. And he's like, oh, Mom, my back hurts. And I'm like, oh, here we go. I got to buy another mattress. I'm like, what's the matter? He's, I don't know. It's burning. I'm thinking, burning? What? Burning? I said, all right, turn around. Let me see. So he pulls up his shirt. Oh, my God. There was scratches across his back.
Wow.
And I'm like, oh, my God. And he just got a little shipper key.
Right.
A little black dog. And I says, did the dog scratch you? He goes, no, Ma, the dog sleeps on the floor. He can't even get on the bed. And I'm thinking, well, I figured it's an old mattress, you know what I mean? Maybe the springs started coming up and scratching them. So I nixed it up to that because I never went up the steps. Never. As a matter of fact, the upstairs was gutted except for the 2 bedrooms.
Right.
So we had to make a makeshift bathroom in the basement. Yeah. Talk about scary. So, and time went on, and like he repeatedly was continually being scratched. And I'm like, I don't know what's going on. Like, I never thought in a million years that anything could happen, you know, spiritually like that. And then, like I said, the 2 kids slept upstairs. I slept downstairs in the dining room. I had a makeshift bedroom down there because I wanted to be aware of my surroundings. And
Right.
Joshua was so tiny that he slept with me. Well, ended up that Charlie started crawling in bed with us. He was afraid to go upstairs.
Oh.
So now it's me, Joshua, and Charlie in the bed. And every time Tiffany Ann would come down the steps to go down another flight of steps to go to the bathroom, at one point, right where that little munchie would sit and bark, she would end up peeing herself.
Oh, wow.
And she didn't understand why. She's like, Mom, it's just like I couldn't hold it. I'm like, but you're peeing on my steps. He goes, Mom, I'm telling you, I don't know what's going on.
Right.
So it ended up that she stayed upstairs for a little bit longer, and then her friends started coming over. And it never failed that every time they went upstairs to listen to their music or whatever teenagers did, as she was coming down the steps, it never hurt her, but it would always push her girlfriends down the steps. And now this is halfway down the steps.
Right.
One girl really got badly hurt.
Oh.
Yeah, it pushed her so hard that she flipped and slid down the steps on her back.
Oh.
So, whatever it was, I don't know, but it was something not right, and it did not like my children.
But
Hence, I had Tiffany Ann in a bed with me. So it was me and the 3 kids in a bed downstairs in a
wow.
gigantic house. And it was not good there. Needless to say, as soon as we could, we moved out.
I don't blame you.
Yeah, we moved out as quickly as possible.
You remember the dolls? My buddy. My son was like 3 or 4 years old. We got him that doll for Christmas. Well, we went to go in. We were staying at my mother-in-law's for a while, and he had a bedroom downstairs, and there was a chair in there, and we always put my buddy in the chair. My son never slept with him. We just put him in the chair. Well, we were all out at the breakfast table and went to go in to his room because he had said, because he was like real tired. And it was like, what's the matter? And he's like, I didn't, no sleep. And I was, really? And then Buddy kept waking me up. Like, really? Buddy, yeah. So I went to go in the room, the door wouldn't open. Tried everything possible. The door would not open. My brother-in-law went around to the window, opened the window, and I'm standing in front of the door, and he opens the door. I said, how'd it get locked? He said it wasn't locked. I said, get out of here. He said, I'm telling you, it wasn't locked. No kidding. So we're starting to say, is this, it's kind of weird. He's saying that the doll's waking him up at night and stuff like this. So my ex and I made a decision, as stupid as it might sound, to get rid of the doll. All right, because it was freaking him out anyway. We had already, after that, taken him out of the room. So we got rid of it. So about a month later, and this is true, what it sounds like, but you try it and see how much you freak out. We threw the doll out. Okay, we were moving out. We had finally got our place. We were moving out. We were going up in the attic, getting our stuff out. And I moved the bag, and guess who's sitting there?
The doll.
The doll.
Oh,
and I said to my ex, I said, can you freaking believe this? She goes, how the hell did he get up here? I have no clue. You want to talk about something freaky? I'm getting chills now, just thinking about it.
Oh my God.
Between all that, and I told my brother-in-law, and he goes, nah, no way. I said, dude, you've seen it. You had to go through the window to unlock or to open the door, and it wasn't even locked. And he's like, yeah, I guess. But yeah, that was the original Chucky. That's what I'm telling you.
Wow.
That was really weird.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So, you never expect, I pulled the bag back and he's just sitting there staring at me like I'm waiting for the, But yeah, that was freaky.
So, okay. So, I got one more that I have to tell you. And then we're going to get to the cornfields.
Wow. After my next one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Then we're not going to get to the cornfields.
We will.
Okay. So, going forward, I moved from Rahway into Jackson. And after looking at multiple houses, I decided on a place that was in the Brookwoods. And it was a beautiful ranch. And I said, all right, this is perfect. Got out of the Rahway house, felt relieved, moved all the way down here, and it was fine. The house was great until I started remodeling it.
Oh.
There was stuff that I didn't like, and let me tell you something, I'm handy with tools. Like there was a divider in between the living room. I'm sorry, not the living room, in between my dining room and my kitchen. I wanted one big giant kitchen.
Right.
So I got a sledgehammer and I took down the wall, and then I had like a breakfast nook, which I didn't want there. So I took that down. And basically, I just started doing it my own way to make it nice for me.
Nice.
It was a beautiful home, and I loved the ranch. I love ranch houses. But then, shortly after I started remodeling the house, like you'd walk down the hallway, and once again, you'd feel something like nudge you.
Oh.
And I'd be like, what in God's name? And like, okay, all right, maybe I lost my balance. Who knows?
Mm.
But it got progressively stronger to where it would nudge you, and like you turn around and nobody's there. And we had like I said, a fairly open floor plan, beautiful, gigantic living room. I made the dining room, it had a big archway that went into the living room. So you're going into the front door, into the living room, into my gigantic kitchen now. And then you'd have to go down the steps and then down another flight of steps into the basement, which at the time, Charlie had made me 2 apartments, one on each side, and in the middle was the washroom. Tiffany Ann took one apartment, and Charlie took the other. And I would constantly hear like the radio go on. And I'd be like, Tiffany Ann, can you please turn down that radio? No answer. Or the TV, what have you.
Right.
Can you please turn it down? I'm screaming down the steps.
Wow.
So, I'm in a huff because I'm listening to my music upstairs, which is country. And they weren't playing country downstairs. And after I yell, I'd start to walk away and I'd hear steps coming up the steps, footsteps. And I'm like, I'll turn around because I'm ready to yell at them. But the footsteps, nothing never appeared.
Right.
So I'm like, what in God's name? And it brought back Broadway again.
Oh.
And I'm like, no, this can't be happening again.
Do you think it followed you?
No, I don't think so. I did start talking to the neighbors, and they did say that our house, that area,
Right.
was built on an old Indian burial ground. So I don't know. Maybe they didn't like the idea that I started remodeling the house, what have you. So, and it continued, with me hearing the steps somebody going up the steps, and the TV or the radio being blasted.
Right.
And I'd be yelling, will you knock that off? And then all of a sudden, I'm yelling Tiffany Ann. She walks through the front door into the dining room. Ma, what are you calling me for? Well, I spun around. I said, wait, what? I said, you weren't downstairs. I said, you're not playing with me, right? Because, I thought maybe she snuck out the back door because they were always playing jokes on me.
Right.
She goes, Mom, I just got home. And I'm like, oh, she goes, are you okay? And I'm like, no, I'm fine. I'm fine. Ma's fine. I'm fine. Because I didn't want to scare her.
Right.
Although she was unscarable. So, and I wouldn't dare tell Charlie because forget it.
He was freak out.
He was totally opposite than Tiffany Ann. So I continued to go about my own business, and I started painting. And this happened over quite a number of years that I lived there.
Right.
I painted every winter a different color. So I started painting the hallway one winter, and I got 3/4 of the way down. It was a long, long hallway. Now I had a bathroom here and 2 bedrooms, one at the end and one halfway down the hallway.
Right.
So I got it down, and it was the prettiest Marlowe color that you ever want to see. And I had stopped to go to the bathroom. And when I opened the bathroom, a spot directly across the bathroom, it was like shining. And I'm thinking, wow, that, it's really shiny. I hope it doesn't stay like that.
Right.
So I'm watching it, like kind of watching paint dry.
Mm-hmm.
But as I'm watching it, literally, I see it morphing.
Really?
And I'm like, this isn't the light from the bathroom. So quick, I grabbed my cell phone and I did several shots.
Right.
This thing morphed and morphed. And it turned in to the face of my brother Joey. And Joey, I just got
yeah, you
chills.
gave him to me, and I never met Joey.
It turned into my brother Joey. God rest his soul, and he had already passed not too long before I made the move. And I sat there and I watched, and I just kept on snapping photos on my phone because I thought I was going crazy.
Right.
Now, mind you, my brother Joey was always with me. He always seemed to live with me, and until as time went on, he married and moved. I moved down here, and he moved further up north. So and I just sat there. I was like, at first it hurt. It was my brother Joey there.
Right.
And then it was almost like it had turned so I could see half of his face. And it was as if he was looking at me.
Right.
And my heart stopped.
Oh, jeez.
And I thought, oh my God. But then it started to fade.
Right.
And I felt like, wow, Joey's still with me.
He was letting you know he was with you.
He was letting me know that he was with me. Yes, he was. And, little things would happen. I wasn't afraid. I was not afraid in that house like I was in Rawway.
Right. So, when I was younger, I was about 15, 16. And we were all staying at my grandmother's house because they went to Vermont. And my aunt, which is only 4 years older than me, didn't want to stay by herself. So my brother, his girlfriend, and myself went and stayed with her for the weekend. Well, I got to be where I wasn't feeling well. So I laid down on the couch in the living room. And my grandfather had cut a hole out in the wall so you could talk from the living room to the kitchen. And then he cut a doorway out because you used to have to walk through the dining room, come around, and go in the kitchen.
Yeah.
So he cut a doorway out in the living room to go dead straight into the kitchen. Unless you were in the dining room, then you could go in from the dining room. Well, the couch sat right underneath of this cutout. And everybody was up and doing whatever. I laid down on the couch. And TV was on. Everybody was talking, whatever. And I guess I just passed out. Next thing I know, I'm waking up in the middle of the night, pitch black. Now, mind you, things didn't bother me like that. Um, and at first I thought, hey, yeah, imagination's getting to you, you know. Could have swore I heard the back door open, which was in the kitchen. You went out in the backyard through the kitchen. And I'm listening, I'm listening. I hear the cabinet open up where my grandmother kept medications like aspirin and stuff like that. I hear the bottles, you know, the pills moving.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going, man, you got to be imagining this. This ain't happening, you know, because we always kept all the doors locked anyway. And I'm laying there, and the longer it went, longer I'm going. My imagination wouldn't run that far, all right? Because normally I would have just got up and checked it out, and there was no lights close to me at all. I couldn't. There was nothing to turn on to be able to see anything. So now I'm laying like this on my back, and I'm looking up, and I'm waiting for somebody to put their head over the freaking hole so I can like pop them, you know. And I'm like, son of a, I couldn't move, and that wasn't me. I couldn't move, and I'm like, dude, you got to get up. And I'm just like laying there, and I'm like, you're a sitting duck. Get your ass up. So it felt like an hour, but it was probably all of maybe 3 minutes, 4 minutes. And talk about embarrassing, because like I said, it wasn't me at the time. I picked up my blanket, and because they had covered me up, and one of the couch pillows. Can't believe I'm telling you this. Went directly into the bathroom, locked the door, and laid down in the tub.
Get out.
Swear to God. And that's where I slept for the night.
You didn't go look.
Let me fit. It was pitch black.
You didn't turn on a light.
Really? Pitch black. Okay. Number one, it would have taken me minutes to find the light because I couldn't see nothing. Right? I knew getting off the couch, I only had to walk straight ahead. So anyway, I hear a knock at the door. What are you doing? What? What are you doing? Sleeping? Sleeping? Where? In the tub? Are you serious? Yeah. All right, you need to come out here because this is my brother talking. You need to come out here, man, because you left everything a mess.
Oh,
I said,
no.
Really? So now I'm like, I don't want to get out of the tub. So anyway, I had a legit reason for it, but that wasn't me. I didn't normally react like that. So instinctively, something told me, don't even mess with this.
Ooh.
So I came out. My brother's laughing his ass off. I got the pillow on the blanket. He goes, "Who are you, Linus?" I don't know, man. I said, I got freaked out last night. You guys left me in the dead dark. He goes, "Well, what the hell is with all the stuff on the counter?" So what are you talking about? And I go out, and all the medication that was in that cabinet was on the counter in the kitchen. And the back door was locked. I go, my brother's name was Buck. I said, Buck, I didn't do that. Well, who the hell else would do it? I said, dude, I'm telling you, I didn't do it. Why the hell you think I was in the bathtub? I don't do that. He goes, well, I don't know. He goes, it was awful funky that, everything's on the counter and you didn't do it.
You woke up the rooster?
He busted my chops. Well, all three of them did. Forever. It wouldn't let me live it down.
Oh, my Lord.
We know damn well you took that stuff out of the cabinet. They thought I was looking for something because I wasn't feeling good, But yeah, there it all was on the counter. I'm going, oh man, you know what? This is one time I'm glad I chickened out. Because who knows? Like I said, I don't mind fighting physically, but something that you can't see or whatever, what are you gonna do with it?
Why
You know what I mean?
I don't mean it. Why are they going off like that all of a sudden?
Probably because of me talking.
You think?
I don't know. Now we got ghostis here. They're frightening the roosters. You hear them? Oh, you scared yourself.
They never go.
Yeah, they do.
Not like that.
I'll be right back.
Where are you going?
You want me to check or not?
Oh shit! I mean, excuse me.
Nah. I mean, there might be medication on the counter, but I mean, no. You want me to check?
We'll be right back. Okay.
We're back.
Joe just went out and looked around the yard, and there ain't nothing out there. So it's like 1 o'clock in the morning. So either one, we're aggravating the chickens. So we're gonna make this fast and close it up. Now we can't talk too loud because the chickens might yell at us.
Yeah.
Or the roosters, I should say, might yell at us.
Yeah.
Tell us to go to bed.
They want their ladies rested.
They want. But anyway, I'll try to talk loud enough that you can hear us, but not too loud that they're going to be mad at us. So now is where we're going to get to our, I was going to say cornhole. That's what she said.
Every once in a while, her brain just goes.
Now we're going to get to the cornfields story. He has one and I have one. So in the comments, you have to leave a comment. Which one did you like best and why? Please. And also subscribe.
Yeah, it would be nice.
Yeah, I like to see my numbers go up, 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 up. And I'm not talking about my age either. Okay, so who starts?
Go ahead. Ladies first.
Ladies first. Oh, God. Okay. Okay. Where do I begin? Well, it was a tradition down south at my Aunt Lucy's house that we'd all sit on a porch come evening time after we got biscuits thrown at us because from supper the biscuits would harden and all those young ones would be out in the yard running around and she'd come out with a big bowl full of biscuits that was harder than hard can be, and anybody from down south will know good and well what I'm talking about. And she'd bombard us with biscuits and we'd laugh and run around, and it was kind of like getting shot with a paintball gun, except it didn't leave the colors, it just left the mark. So all the adults had went into the house, and us youngerns, there's about, let's see, what is it? About 5 of us, I guess. I don't know. I don't even know how many of us were. We snuck out back, and there was a cornfield back there. So we were going to go play in the corn. And then we got halfway over the creek, and we decided, I know I chickened out because it was just too dark there, and I knew that there was bulls back there, and those bulls will get you. So we all were sitting on the porch, with our legs hanging off, just talking. And all of a sudden you hear something rustling back by the cornfield. And nobody, not one of us said anything, but you can all see everybody like looking towards there, and your guy go around the house and down the hill and over the creek to reach a cornfield. Then it started rustling a little bit more, and everybody started getting quieter and quieter. And there they
Sound
go.
like beating his chest.
I'm telling you. So anyway, next thing I know, you heard the biggest ruckus coming through that cornfield, like somebody was coming through high speed. Like you could actually picture the corn just separating.
Right.
Well, the other young'uns got up and started running just as fast as they can to get in that house. And of course, Tubby me, I'm the last one to lead up the trail. And I felt something come around the side of that house. And I tried to get into that house and I hooked my foot and I fell splat dab on the floor. I was so scared because I felt like something was just going to reach out and grab me. That's, you get that feeling that it's going to grab you.
Yep.
I done nothing but run up like one of those old roly-polies, like there was fat old roly-polies.
Yeah, okay.
Because I was a chubby little girl. And I rolled inside the doorway, turned and kicked the doorway closed, and just stood there. I was scared to death. And inside, the kids were yelling and screaming as something was coming through the cornfield. And I didn't say a word because I knew we were all going to get whooped for being out in the cornfield when we shouldn't have. But we didn't make it that far. But I knew we were all going to get whooped. So I politely just slid over to the side and just sat on the couch just as quiet as could be. I wasn't getting whooped. But that had scared the living daylights out of me because something came through that cornfield. And I tell you what, it was something big. It was nothing little. And it was coming at high speed.
Mm-hmm.
So we all got sent to bed. They got a whooping. I didn't get it. I kept my mouth shut. And in order to get up another flight of steps, because we all had to sleep in the attic, you had to go by a back door. And Aunt Lucy didn't have a curtain on that back door, or it was open or something. Oh my Lord, it took every strength that I had to walk past that door and then up the steps with, that somebody's looking in that window as you're going up the steps. So now they know where you sleep. I did not sleep all that night. I was scared to death. I'm telling you, honest to God, I think I peed the bed that night. I was scared to death. To this day, I don't know what came through that cornfield. And I talked to my sisters, God rest her soul, when she was alive. And no, she don't know what corn came through that cornfield neither, but something came through that cornfield.
Maybe it was a scarecrow.
No, it was no scarecrow. If it was, he was a big, big scarecrow. You could actually hear the corn stalks a breaking.
Mm-hmm.
And when I hooked my foot and splat myself on that floor, I thought, oh, good Lord, I'm a goner. Here you go. They're going to be having me in the Virginia Times. Girl got drug off by some kind of critter. So, no. But
some kind of critter.
that's my story. So, let's see what you say about that one.
You ready for the winner?
Okay, we'll see.
My brother at the time, my brother and I were 7 years apart. He's since passed years ago. And there's a reason why I'm explaining this beforehand. He had his 69 Dodge Dart all set up, convertible. Luckily, convertible. Had the top down. Well, anybody familiar with the local areas, we used to go up to 2001 Lakes, they called it. And on the way, there's a house, old house then, that was 45 years ago. And there was, the window upstairs broke with a rolled up carpet sticking out of it. And it's like, who the hell would live like that, But the house was run down. And there was always just one light on in the house, whatever it be, dining room, living room, whatever, and then the outside porch light. And there was a big ass cornfield up front. So when you rode by, you seen the cornfield, and then you looked up the driveway, you seen the house. Oh man, I don't know how many times we went to the lake, and the one time, because we stayed until it started getting dark, and then that's when we left. We were all busting on each other, and our brother's like, and there was 5 of us in a Dodge Dart. Said, I bet none of you's got the chops to go up to the house and knock on the door.
No, dear God.
Like, alrighty then. And my brother's friend George, he was a nut, man. Just a nut. He'd do crazy things. And goes, I'll go up there, would you? Or I'll go up there. And I said, yeah, I'll go with you. He goes, but we're going to sneak up through the cornfield so we could see what's going on, like if they got dogs or, yeah, like that helps. Like they don't know you're in the cornfield. But anyway, so my brother pulls up. Now, his car has side pipes on it. Ain't no way that nobody didn't hear us because he backed up the driveway. He didn't want to get caught head on. So he pulled up and backed up the driveway. So really, you don't hear the car and you don't see the taillights. Anyway, so George and I got out and we're creeping like nobody knows we're there, right? Okay. We're in, get to them. And this cornfield was probably about 25, 50 yards long and probably about 25 yards wide. So we get to about the middle and we're whispering like, he goes, yeah, we'll go up and we'll knock on the door and pretend to be a salesman. And I'm like, yeah, okay, all right. And you went into some story. I don't even remember what it all was about. And as we're talking, we started hearing the corn stalks breaking. And this is serious now. And George looks at me. He goes, you hear that? Yeah, I do. He goes, okay. And we look ahead and you can literally see the corn stalks moving. And it was like a movie, believe me. And I looked at him and he looked at me and we just said, nah. And we blasted out of there. And as we're running, you can hear the stalks breaking faster and faster. And I'm saying to myself, oh, we are so screwed. I don't know what it is, but this ain't going to end well, And so we flew out of there. And as we get closer to the car, we're going, go, go, go. And my brother's going, well, I need you to get in the car. And we're just yelling, go. We both, the roof was down, thank God. We both dove over to the side of the car. Half of us is hanging out. And he's trying to wait for us to get in. No, man, just go, go. And the other friend, Frank, said you could see the corn stalks still breaking coming our way as we were leaning in the car. And my brother just took off and the driveway was gravel, just throwing gravel everywhere. And I was waiting to hear that somebody came out of there with one of these big ass sickles or something. You know what I mean? Never did find out what it was. Didn't care to. Never thought about it again. Had my experience. I didn't need to try it out again.
Been there, got the t-shirt.
Yeah, at least we didn't head to the shed with all the chainsaws and stuff hanging out. But yeah, it was at night and the moon was shining. Man, let me tell you something. That was freaky as hell, which of course you understand.
Oh yeah.
Freaky as hell.
Oh yeah.
But man, I mean, of course, once you calm down, everything you laugh your ass off about it, but it might not have any good if we waited it out,
So with that,
yes, ma'am.
That's our 2 corn stalk cornfield stories.
Right.
Leave a comment and let us know which one do you think was the best, or if they both were equal.
Yeah.
And please leave a comment with that. We got to get out of here before we wake the roosters up again. Good Lord.
We'll have another horror story for you.
Yeah, we will.
I hope you actually enjoyed it.
I hope you did too. But you know what? The scary thing is, those were all true stories.
Yeah.
And I have a lot more that happened to me. So if you like the videos, tell us that you want to hear more, and we'll let you hear more.
Right.
I can tell them for a month of Sundays and never be done. But with that, it's probably like 1:30 in the morning now, and tomorrow morning comes awful early. We got to do a lot of work before the rain comes in. We got we got a big nor'easter coming up the coast here, and we got to fix up the yard and stuff before.
Right. Batten down the hatches.
Batten down the hatches, and we got to get ourselves all straight away. We got to do what we got to do with the animals. But with that, we're going to say good night. Sleep well.
Beware.
Beware of your surroundings. But have a nice dreams. And please, please leave a comment. Let us know if you want to hear more about our stories, and which one did you like better, mine or his, or if you like them both the same. With that, we're going to say good night.
Have a good night.
And we will see you.
You porky pig.
All right. Have a good night.
Good night now.
Bye-bye.